Thank you, Chairman Wenstrup, for convening what I feel is a critical meeting. It is imperative that we are an oversight body who conduct an adequate investigation and ensure that the American taxpayer dollars are being spent judiciously and within the law. Dr. Daszak, why did you try to downplay the fact that Xi Jinping and other Chinese scientists will be working on your proposed grant to DARPA?
I did not. I told DARPA.
Did you make any edits to your proposal in order to obscure Chinese involvement in this work?
No, it's clearly...
Specifically, did you alter the number of Chinese investigators in initial application and follow-up application? Were the numbers the same?
There was only one application.
And so that number has always been the number of Chinese investigators that you worked with?
The application that was submitted to the agency is the only matter of record. Anything else is a draft. They're ideas that can be revised and changed.
Following up on some of my colleagues' questions, and I appreciate the candidness that we continue to pepper you with, because I think we have conflicting answers. Where are the sequences stored, and who has that database?
Those are two different questions.
I know that.
The sequences that we acquired from our work with the Wuhan Institute of Virology are stored at EcoHealth Alliance and have been shared publicly through GenBank, the NIH database, published and shared with this committee and other committees. We have other sequences that we acquired before our grant was renegotiated, which we're currently analyzing and will publish.
Do you feel you have all the sequences from the Wuhan Institute of Virology?
Well, I believe we have all the sequences of any relevance to COVID.
Having said that you're recognizing that data was destroyed, you feel that you have all the sequences
yes, I do.
that were not destroyed?
There's a reason for that.
You have all the sequences that were not destroyed?
No, I think we had all available SARS coronavirus related bat coronavirus sequences prior to the outbreak. I'd requested from WIV that they send us all their data so we publish a paper together summarizing the whole of the work that they do and we do. They included in the data they sent us sequences that weren't collected with our US funding. So we had access to all their information of any relevance to COVID. That was before the outbreak. So of course it didn't matter back then. After the outbreak...
That's a great point. It didn't matter back then. But subsequent to that, we recognize that there has been data that has been destroyed. So giving us data that doesn't matter is irrelevant to this conduct.
The data matters a lot. It didn't matter to them whether they sent it to us or not. Now we have the COVID pandemic and this huge geopolitical concern. There wasn't a single request for any of those sequences to be moved or changed. We published them in the summer of 2020 in a US journal with uploaded into a US NIH GenBank data.
So you have to count on the goodwill of the Wuhan Institute of Virology in order to meet your grant requirements. How does not violate the terms of the Wuhan Institute of Virology's debarment?
Well, we don't work with them. They're debarred.
So you have no further contact with them?
What I said is we don't work with them. We don't
you have further contact with them?
Of course we have contact. Under the terms of my renegotiated R01 with NIH, we have to publish data from that work. Of course, we have to send copies of drafts of papers, get them to check and make sure that they've included everything, that we've got everything correct. So of course we have contact with them.
Do you feel, given all the concerns that have been raised during this hearing, that EcoHealth should continue to receive taxpayer funds?
EcoHealth's work is critical, as I said in my opening statement, to preventing the next pandemic. Of course we should receive federal work. We've worked very carefully and precisely with all of the federal funding we've had. We've reported on time in every other instance. The one instance we were unable to, the NIH system locked us out.
And we haven't been provided with data. There was an employee who made a phone call, but you're not sure they still work for EcoHealth, so that's still suspect
for us. The NIH employee doesn't work for NIH.
So you have documentation that your employees reached out. You have that employee that you could produce for us.
Every bit of documentation I've got, we've supplied. I think I have a few more other pieces that I can supply.
I think that's important that you supply that because
yeah.
We, sitting on this side, are responsible stewards of the taxpayer dollars. But I feel that you at EcoHealth are not responsible stewards of the taxpayer dollars that have been shared for you. And I feel that based on the information and based on the actions that we have seen, I believe that you should never receive taxpayer dollars again. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.
Now